So the challenge for Morgana is that she has an incredibly high ban rate, most likely purely due to Black Shield. Turns out Thresh and Blitzcrank players don't like getting Black Shielded. So it's difficult for us to buff her because of Black Shield. That said, when some people will be like, well, why don't you rework her? She only has 2 abilities. Another thing you have to understand is Morgana is one of the more popular supports in League of Legends. She tends to be like very well loved by the players, and one of the reasons she is well loved is because of her straightforward playstyle. Like as an example, in every ranks, she has an 8% pick rate right now, while not being particularly strong, right? An 8% pick rate is well above average, by the way. Like she gets picked a lot. And so is she probably slightly weak at the end of the day? Yes. Is it hard to buff her? Yes. But when people suggest like, why don't you give Morgana a new ult? Why don't you give her a new passive? One of the reasons is that she's already very well loved, and giving her power in spaces her players don't want is a very risky proposition. An example of where I tried this once is when we were reworking her. I tried giving her a passive where she had to auto attack sometimes. You would like charge up like Soul Suck, and then you could like right click someone to like rip their health out of them. And so it would do some damage, and you'd take their health and heal yourself because, you know, Morgana's got that like dark magic. And it tested really well, and other designers told me it was sweet. And I thought it was sweet, and I was like, okay, we're probably gonna ship this passive. And then we had Morgana players play test it. Like we got a player lab of like Morgana mains to test it, and they were like, why are you asking me to auto attack? I don't play Morgana to auto attack. That's not what I'm interested in when I play Morgana. I play Morgana to root people and shield and things like that. And so the difficulty with Morgana is that, is her ult a little weird to use sometimes? 100%. Does it sometimes feel like she doesn't have a passive? 100%. But the question would be like, okay, well, if we give her a real passive, that power comes from somewhere, and where would it come from? Should she root for less? Should Black Shield be worse? Things like that. And it just turns out that like Morgana's current kit, as it stands, is for a lot of players who play League very appealing and very fun. So it's not like necessarily a win to change it. Does it mean it could never be changed? 100% not, right? Like there's definitely like ways you could potentially change it, right? But just kind of mentioning that like it's not like an obvious win.